Hi everyone, welcome to NUS Business School's first ever e-open house. So we have had a very fruitful session in the morning and we're very excited to be here at the MRB Atrium to answer your questions that you guys might have about studying in NUS Business School and any other things. So today we have a live panel. We are meeting our professors, and so if you have anything regarding questions on the curriculum, on specializations, feel free to drop them in the comment section down on our Facebook Live. So my name is Li Ying. I am currently a year 4 student studying business administration, and with me are two professors from our world-class faculty. So first we have Professor Tan Su Juan from the Department of Marketing, and next we also have Associate Professor Tan Kok Choon, who's from the Department of Analytics and Operations. He's also the Deputy Head of Department. So perhaps to start off, could you do a self-introduction as well as to tell us a bit more about your specializations?
Maybe I'll start first. I'm Tan Su Juan. I'm an Associate Prof in the Marketing Department, and I will talk about the marketing specialization. Basically, marketing is everywhere in the business. It's just like air that you need to breathe, right? And so marketing is very pervasive, and if you choose to specialize in marketing, you can actually work in a lot of fields, from banking to fast-moving consumer goods to even playwriting, and also to other forms of businesses in which it is very important for marketing to exist, because to us, marketing is not about advertising or selling. It's about meeting the needs of business people by producing either a product, service, or in this digital age, information that is very important for every consumer or business to have. So if you choose to specialize in marketing, you could do courses in research, marketing research, product strategy, global marketing, which is very important in this global age. And you can also do a lot of specific studies concerning the consumers, like consumer behavior, and also marketing analytics. Over to you.
Hi, I'm Kok Choon. I'm the Deputy Head of the Department of Analytics and Operations. There are two specializations in my department. Let me speak about the older one, Operations and Supply Chain Management. Now, for anyone who has worked before, in any company, there's always a operations. And in fact, some people usually like the number 2 in the company is called the Chief Operations Officer. So in operations and supply chain management, we teach the students first thing basic about operation management. What's so special about operations? In any company, it is a key pillar. Whether a company is successful or not, operations is actually the backbone. And so for students who specialize in operations and supply chain management, you'll be learning topics about like supply chain management, physical distribution, things like revenue management, all those that affect the company's operations. Now, for students who specialize in this, right, some people has a wrong perception, like if you do supply chain management, you have to work in a logistics company. That is not true. Nowadays, in any company, you have to deal with your supply chain. Be it a logistic company or just any company. So you have to talk about your supplies, where they come from. You have to talk about your management, your warehousing, your transportation. All these are part of supply chain management. Now, related to this is our new specialization in business analytics. Now, to improve on your operations, nowadays we want to make scientific data-based decisions. Now, we want to differentiate business analytics specialization in the business school as opposed to someone who do a degree in just business analytics. The emphasis for us is on the business aspect. Now, we use data, and then we derive not just information, but knowledge, insight into our operations, and then we can improve on the company's bottom line. So the students in our specialization in business analytics, they will not be doing what maybe the computer science students be doing a lot of background, coding, programming. Our students will be trained to be managers who can make decisions using data. The important thing is on the business case, drawing business insights from the data. As managers, you want to know how you can use data to improve your business, your operations, and so on. So our training is not so much in the hardcore programming, but more about the framing of a problem, using the right data, taking advantage of the data that is all over the world, not just within the company, and then help the company to make a good business decision.
Right. Thank you so much, Prof, for your sharing. I think we can clearly see that the NUS Business School curriculum really prepares our undergrads for real-life business problems and not solely just things that are in the classroom or from a textbook. So I just wanted to ask, so are there some examples that you can say from your classes that perhaps relate to real-world problems? Could you share some of these examples that you guys use within the classrooms and how this relates to our undergrads and what they can learn from it?
Well, I teach a course called Product and Brand Management. And in the course itself, the students are encouraged to do a project whereby they have to look at what's happening around them and try to find a way to improve a product so that it becomes a so-called new product. So from the early years, we have very basic, adaptations like, how to change the flavor of a particular drink. But nowadays, students are very innovative, and then they can even come up with things like, okay, how can we try to change the flavor of the drink without using, real new ingredients, but just to make sure that, it is something that's palatable and yet, it's in line with the needs of the consumers. So very interesting new product ideas, which are, of everyday use. So when they join a company, they will know how to start thinking, the new product from scratch and stuff like that. So, yeah.
I'd like to share an example of an alumni who was formerly my boss. I worked in PSA for more than 9 years, and he is the current CEO of PSA Singapore, Mr. Ong Kim Pong. He's an alumni of our school.
Nice.
And after so many years of the graduate from the school, he still remember one top subject that he learned from our school, operations management. And he's really putting it in good use. So in terms of operation management and supply chain management, I think that's a good example to show how the training in our business school can help you to be in the leadership, leading operations in a world-class company. Now in analytics, it's quite new. In fact, in my previous job in PSA2, we do a lot of the data analytics and helping the container terminal to improve the processes. Now I bring a lot of this experience into my class. So currently we have a first year course called, most of the undergraduate has to do, it's called DAO 1704, called Decision Analytics with Spreadsheet. So we teach the students how to use spreadsheet to model a business problem using data, build the probability distributions, come up with a decision model. And some of my students have graduated now. They don't work in logistics. Some of them, like for example, working in MAS, where they actually find that all these quantitative skills are helping them in their job. So, yeah.
Right, so we also have some questions coming in regarding, double specializations. So perhaps, Prof, do you have any advice for those that perhaps they want to take double specs, and what do you advise them? Do you encourage such behavior and stuff like that?
Okay, actually, marketing is a very hot, specialization, and usually people pair it with either finance or management and organization, and even the logistics specialization. So as I said before, marketing is everywhere. So it is good if you can manage the workload to do a double specialization. So the popular ones are marketing and finance, marketing and management and organization and stuff like that. Because even if you say that you're going to major in finance and you're going to work in a bank, it doesn't mean that if you are a banking officer, you can throw marketing away. Because having that special marketing insights, right, allows you a better way to organize your portfolio, whether it's about a finance portfolio or even present your ideas to your client. And for M&O, for example, if you think that, oh, it's only about human resource management, etc. But what about internal marketing, right? Internal marketing means that you really have to market your ideas to your employees down the line, etc. So, yeah, marketing and any of the other specialization would be a good idea to have.
I would say that analytics now is the hot thing. Okay, analytics, of course, as I mentioned earlier, help in operations.
Yeah.
But people may not know. Just now, actually, Su Chen also mentioned about marketing analytics. There's another area. I have students who have went out and they start a consulting company. They are into HR analytics. So I would say if you want to do a double specialization, analytics with operations, analytics with marketing, analytics with M&O management, which is in HR, human resource management. Yeah, so this will be good combinations.
Yeah. I guess the possibilities are endless for anyone studying NUS Business School. You get to choose from like a plethora of specializations and being able to dabble in several at a time.
Only if you are able to manage it. Otherwise, focusing on just one specialization, for example, marketing, is actually good enough.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so Prof. Kok Chun, just now you touched a little bit on the differences between the analytics offered by the School of Computing as well as Business School. Since this is a rather new specialization, perhaps you can touch a little bit more about the differences in case some of the people watching, they might have, they are now at the crossroads and they don't really know which one to choose. Yeah.
Okay, when we put up a proposal for this new specialization, the School of Computing, in the Department of Information Systems and Analytics, also put, had talked about this. So there is this Bachelor of Science in the School of Computing on Business Analytics. Now, it's a degree in the School of Computing, so they go through the whole suite from data management to programming to all, right? Our focus here is to specialize in business analytics in our school, you only need to do 6 modules from my department. As opposed to doing a degree course, you would have to do 120 MC, with all the programming, with other computing kind of course. So as you can see in the recent graduate employment survey, graduates from the School of Computing, particularly because of analytics, are commanding very high salaries. But that is tough job. Because there is currently a world shortage of people in that hard skill. And that is why they are commanding very high salaries. Now, for us, we are not training our students to be data analysts. We are training our students to be managers who can use analytics, not just data, but including the framing of the business problem in coming up a solid data-based decisions. So that is the big difference. One is more back-end, doing all the number crunching. One is front-end, facing the customer, facing the business issue, framing the problem correctly, getting the correct data, engaging the professionals who knows how to get for you the data, and you make a decision.
Right.
That's the difference.
Maybe I should add on that it's about knowing how to interpret the data, using it to make good business decisions, and also how to frame the problems, because there are issues all over the place. Yeah. So this is something that is useful in the business school itself, the curriculum.
Okay. So perhaps for both of you, within the classroom, perhaps what do you look for in a successful business student? Who do you think makes up the characteristics of what makes a successful business student? Yeah.
Well, to me, the successful business student would be someone who is very participative in class, all right, being able to not only raise questions, good questions or intelligent questions, but also raise comments, be able to critique other people's comments, and not afraid to make mistakes, because in the classroom you can afford to make mistakes and it doesn't cost you. But if you don't learn that way, it's going to cost you a lot when you make mistakes outside.
Yeah.
And also, a good student to me is not someone who ace exams all the time, because we know exams are formidable, right? Even to people like us as professors. But if you are able to make the best use of what you have learned and be able to frame problems, be able to have your own insights into problems and contribute your unique or independent thoughts, then that to me, it's a very successful business student, not just by learning everything in class.
From my view, maybe because of my background, and I think our school is training graduates in this field. A good business student, good businessman must first have good insight. They must take positions. They may do some kind of use their hunch in certain direction, but as I know, a lot of companies they are successful, and in fact, there are research that have proven, right, competing on analytics. Those successful business, the leaders, right? First they are leaders, they take position, but they don't just go in blind.
Yeah.
They rely on analytics.
Right.
So their decisions are backed up with data, with business models, with proper calculated risk, right? And so I think our school, particularly what my department serves, our function in the school is to train students in making scientific data-based decisions, and we are doing well.
That's nice. Actually, Prof. Tan, just now you mentioned something about a good business student must be participative in class and stuff like that. So for some students who after their A-levels, perhaps they might be waiting and looking to different causes. They might think, oh, maybe I'm a more quiet person. So what kind of advice do you have for students like that?
Okay, if you think you're a quiet person, then all the more you have to really pluck up your courage and try to speak up. Maybe at the beginning it's very difficult. I acknowledge that, especially for Asians, it's not our culture to be loudmouth, and speak, from the top of your head. But it can be trained, and if you have the chance when you are in the business school or when you join the university, try to join the Toastmasters Club, which actually trains you, all right, to speak in public. And in the business school itself, right, you are a member of the Taste Club, where they give you a lot of chance to practice your presentation styles, your training, etc. So if you think that you are quiet and timid, don't be afraid. There will be a lot of hands here helping you, holding you, so that you actually can enjoy being a very participative student.
If I may add, actually our school, right, there's one module that I teach, which we go flip, where the students will actually learn the basic material by watching the video before the class. And when we come into the class, we discuss cases which extends your knowledge from, and apply it, right? So class participation also counts in this. So we encourage students, and students will do well if they speak up, and they must be thinking on the feet most of the time. And so we start from first year. We train our students to do that. Of course, initial year, yes, because of our Asian culture, as you said, with our A-level kind of training, there is a transition time.
Right.
And but the school is actually creating the opportunities for students to actually learn and adapt into this situation.
Actually, I was an ex-BBA student, so to join in the BBA orientation from day one is also very important because it helps you to make friends and make it easier for you to speak up in class.
I think that's true. I can definitely attest to that because before coming into NUS Business School, I'm a super quiet and shy kind of person, but now I'm a lot more outspoken as well right now in my final year. So perhaps to wrap things up, we are running short of time. Perhaps do you guys have sort of like a word of advice, like a final word of advice for anyone who's watching our Facebook live stream?
Okay, for all the prospective business school students, I would say I hope you will consider the NUS Business School. And when you get admitted, try to not just study as best as you can, but play hard in the sense that participate in the school's activities as much as you can, because it's not just hard work and no play.
I would say if you are still deciding what you want to do, but if you think that you don't want to go into the professional fields like a doctor, lawyer, or so on, I would say the business school kind of training, based on my experience working in industry and previously an academic job, and I think the school is providing very good training for you. You don't have to worry about the specialization. The training is actually very general. If you go out to work, whether in banking, in logistics, or in just any operations in a company, I think you will be able to do well.
Okay.
Yeah.
With that, we've come to the end of our panel. Thank you so much, professors, for spending time with me, and for you guys at home for tuning into our Facebook live stream. If you have any other questions, feel free to leave it in the comment section below, and we'll be answering them. And if you have any other questions, feel free to head on to our website. We have a list of frequently asked questions there as well, and other videos that you can catch. Okay, bye. See you guys
Bye-bye.
soon.